Yo, what is up everybody? Chris here from Big Sports News, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys the first part of my Major 3 preview, of course that being hosted by Optic Texas in Dallas, Texas. If any of you guys are going to the event, I hope you have a great time. Call of Duty events are always a great time, and CDL events never disappoint. I went to the Atlanta Faze homestand in 2020 and had a blast, and if you want to see some recaps, that's like way back in the archives on this channel. But yeah, if you guys are going, have a good time, and if you're watching like myself, I hope you enjoy all the COD action. We have some definitely great action on slate for this weekend, and I'm bringing you guys a report card video like I do before every event to give you an idea of how each team performed during this split. So kicking things off, I went in order of the team's performances, so worst to best. So of course, starting off with the worst team in this stage, we of course had the Minnesota Rokkr. They went 0-5 in this stage. They struggled mightily, and yeah, I gave them an F- across the board. I mean, 0-5 with 0-7 in S&D, like you're gonna get a straight F. Teamwork, composure, everything was just not there. Game 5 losses, 3-0 smoke shows, it was all there. So nothing really encouraging going into this event. Their hardpoint was 3-4, their S&D was 0-7, control was 1-4, so nothing looked good. Minnesota appeared to be really thrown off at this stage. Not sure what happened between Major 2 and the start of the Stage 3 qualifiers, but something with this team is very off. They just got a top 3 placing at the last event and then went 0-5 in the Stage 3 qualifiers, going 0-7 in S&D along the way. I think they're now 0-9 in S&D, so they're about to break Seattle's record really quickly. Seems this team is in need of a roster change at this point. I don't know what else to do. Maybe they can do something at the Major with their one and done, but yeah, it's looking pretty chickadee chalk for Minnesota Rokkr in this stage. Ironic I'm wearing the hat. I wear the hat in every video, but it's just crazy to see how bad they were this stage. Very unfortunate situation for that team. It just seems like their spirits were chalked and their gameplay reflected that. Next team is Mutineers. Mutineers, they actually looked pretty encouraging. Even though I gave them a D in this stage, it's just because they couldn't win. They looked really good. They just couldn't seal the deal. So I gave their teamwork and their composure a C+. I thought it was average. Could have been a lot better, certainly. That round 11 proved it against LAG, I think, maybe. But yeah, the round 11 with Capsule, Brack, and Fellow lining up was Joe Thieves, yeah, 3-piece, yep, LAG. Yeah, so we won't talk about it. But Hardpoint 3-5 gave that a D-, gotta be better. Florida picked up Fellow and Capsule to improve in the respawns, and it didn't lead to them winning more respawns than they did before. They, I think, won less respawns than they did in Stage 2 with their previous roster, so yeah, question marks. S&D 1-5 gave that an F. Not really a lot to talk about there. Control 2-3, not a lot to talk about there. No encouraging game modes for the Mutineers. They were a lights out S&D team. They were, I believe, 6-1 in the last stage in S&D, and they just got worse. So that's pretty much everything I can say for that. And then on to my comments. Florida certainly looked a lot better with the addition of Capsule and Fellow to the team, but sadly those improvements didn't translate to more success in respawn, or even a continuation of the success that Florida has seen in S&D all season long. They got worse at their best game mode, and now they're lost in respawn. They need a lot of work to have a chance to win their opening match, and that's just how I feel about the Mutineers. I mean, it feels like there's a mountain to climb before they have a fighter's chance in their first matchup. Maybe they did it, maybe they didn't, but we'll see. The London Royal Ravens, they were actually the 10th ranked team in this stage. They got 2 wins, and they did pretty well. I gave them a C+ overall. I thought they had a really, really good rebound. They finally hit the brakes and just stopped digging the hole that they were digging themselves into. Champs isn't completely out of reach yet, and they look like they can definitely turn their season around, but we'll see. So I gave him a C+ in teamwork and composure, pretty average. Hardpoint I gave a C-, could have been better, 4-5. S&D I gave C+, pretty average record, 4-4. Control 1-4, I gave that an F, that's abysmal. So London's looked much improved in the stage. but sadly they weren't able to convert their improvements to more than 2 wins in the stage, so they have a lot to iron out before they play their first losers match on Friday. I'm sorry, winners is not played on Friday. Their record in control was bad, while their record in control was bad, and their record elsewhere was just average. Sorry, I kind of rushed this a little bit. They don't have a game mode that they're clearly good at, so their win condition is not clear in each series or any series, and that's kind of where I'll leave this. Maybe they can do something in their one and done, but I think it'll be a one and done. Next team, Vegas Legion. I think they're in a similar position. I gave them a C+. Their teamwork and composure I gave a C+. Hardpoint I gave a C-. 4 and 6 is not good, considering this team picked up 2 real to get better in respawn. Control I gave an F. 1 and 4, like I said, they picked up 2 real to give them more respawn pressure. Didn't pan out that way. Their S&D stayed the same though, so that's a really good thing for them. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about Vegas. They had a decent showing this stage with the addition of 2 real to the squad. If they want a chance to play a second match at the major, they need to clean up their late game holds in hardpoint and control. They threw a lot of games by getting frantic and allowing the other team to slow the game down. That's pretty much the story in the LAG series. They had big leads that they just let go of. Yeah, that's pretty much Paris Legion's problems in a nutshell. And those are difficult problems to fix even when they're identified. So we'll see what they can do before the major. Maybe they can win their losers matchup and get a surprise upset, send somebody home, but I doubt it. Moving on to our next team, we have the LA Guerillas. The team that knocked Vegas out and destroyed their winners bracket hopes for the first time in franchise history, which is, wow, interesting. LAG's finally gotten back to their winning ways as a franchise, in S&D that is. Additionally, they improved greatly in control, which was their weakest game mode last stage. They went 0-5 in it. They might be able to make some noise in the bracket if they catch fire at the right time. Their hardpoint is really bad. I gave it an F. It's 2 and 7 overall on the stage. Their S&D I gave it A-. 5 and 3 is very good. And their control I gave a B+. They definitely improved there, going 3 and 2, which is very good. LAG, I think they definitely have what it takes to win some series. Their S&D has improved considerably, but they really need to clean up that hard point. It was looking stinky. Yeah, so 2 and 7, got a lot of work to do there. Don't see the Guerillas necessarily going crazy, but I don't think that they're, a free dub. Next team is the New York Subliners, our 7th ranked seed heading into this. I gave their teamwork and composure an A+. They are always a well-composed team that works together and gets the job done. Hardpoint, surprisingly, was 2 and 4. I gave that an F. That is horrible. S&D was really good for them. That was a mode that they struggled in the previous stage. 4 and 2 is really solid. And their control, I gave a B+, with a 3 and 2 record to boot. So New York has really struggled to win hard points during the qualifiers. They need to tighten up their late game holds similar to Faze. A lot of their hard points were lost in the late game. In S&D and control, they've maintained form, so if they make the necessary improvements to their hard point, they'll remain favorites to win Major 3. They're definitely one of my favorite teams to win it. More on that in part 2, but yeah, I think they have a good chance to win if they clean up their hard point. Optic Texas, ironically, they're the only 3 and 2 team that I gave below a B+, and I'll explain why in a second. So they went 3 and 2 on the stage. They made winners bracket for their home event. I gave their teamwork and composure an A+. Optic iced up in the series against Faze to secure winners, and that's definitely a great show of their composure and their teamwork. It was just well orchestrated, and they worked the game plan to perfection. The hardpoint I gave an A+. I thought their hardpoint was phenomenal this stage. They looked really good in hardpoint, and they took it to some of the best teams. So that's very encouraging going into the major. Their S&D was definitely the sore spot. I gave that an F. 2 and 4 is unacceptable, and they really need to be better if they're hoping to win matches at their home event. Their control I gave a C-. They were 2 and 3. That was a game mode that they really needed to improve in during stage 2 and definitely post stage 2, and they did not. So not really that encouraging if you're an Optic Texas fan. That's why I gave them a B-. The control being a C- and the S&D being an F, I was like, that has to drag it down. So Optic have looked bad in S&D and control the stage. If they want to have a chance to win their major, they really need to be more consistent. Sometimes in the S&Ds, they just genuinely looked like they had no game plan. Like, it's hard to explain, but when they played Faze, they were very, very helpless, it seemed. And then similarly, they choked a 5-2 lead to the Ultra on Fortress. So, yeah, S&D was not it for them. We've not seen the same team show up to each and every match, and that's been the problem. This team looks very different day to day. One day they're getting 3-0 by Ultra. The next day they're taking somebody to a Game 5 and looking great. There's a lot to clean up if they want to defend their home turf, and, there's a lot to do. Looking at our 5th seed, we have the LA Thieves. They went 3-2 in this stage after placing 2nd at the last event, so they continue where they left off, and they didn't really let off the momentum much, which is good for them going into this. So I gave their teamwork and composure an A+. They are defending CDL world champions. That can never be questioned, their teamwork and composure. Their Hardpoint I gave an A+. They were 6-3. They were a very, very good Hardpoint team. They had a pretty difficult schedule, so it's a good look seeing them go 6-3 there. Their S&D I thought could have been a lot better. Their S&D was very solid at the last event, so I gave them a C+ with that 3-3 record. Definitely needs to be better if they want to make another deep run. And then their control I gave a B+. 3-2 is very solid. And then for my comments, the Thieves have remained a solid team across the board, but their biggest issue in this stage was certainly their S&D. They were 3-3 there, so that was the sore spot. They need to clean up their late round adjustments if they want to make another deep run at Major 3. And the other teams in the league know what they need to do at this point in the season. So those late round situations are really going to be the difference makers. That's why they need to clean it up. You can't just rely on your strats to carry you through a lot of these matches, because everybody knows how to make adjustments and play the map and work it, and they know the timings and everything. So the Thieves have little things to clean up, but I think they're very close to being there. I think they will make another run. I don't think the issues are big enough to stop them from making another run. The number 4 ranked team is Atlanta Faze. They went 3-2 in the stage. I gave them a B+. Teamwork, compose, A, obviously. Hardpoint, I gave a C+. 3-5 is really bad. And their S&D, I gave an S+. This is the first time I've ever given an S+. They were 5-0 in the stage, and they're currently on a 12-map win streak. So it's a record-setting moment. So I just gave them an S+. And then control is a B+. It was 3-2, pretty average. And yeah, looking at the comments, Faze remain solid in control, and they have continued their dominance in S&D by extending their historic win spree to 12 maps in a row. They need to clean up their late game holds in Hardpoint if they want to go back-to-back this weekend. If they don't make the necessary improvements to their late game hills, then there's no way that Faze win this event. But if they do, then I think they win it. And I think they're the kind of team where they get better at Hardpoint on land, so I'm going to say that they likely make those improvements and probably win this event. If not them, then I think it'll be Seattle. Looking at our 3rd ranked team, we have the Toronto Ultra. I gave their teamwork a B+, just because the S&D, it just wasn't there in the S&D at all. Their composure I gave an A+. Their Hardpoint I gave an A+. They have the best Hardpoint record this stage, I believe. Spoilers. Tied for the best Hardpoint record with Seattle. Control A+. They had the best control record. No, tied with Boston. I lied again. But best Hardpoint and best control record tied with Boston and Seattle, respectively, the number 1 and 2 seeds. That's very significant. The Ultras look fantastic in their respawn, but their mid-round adjustments and overall play calling in S&D hasn't been there in this stage. They need to figure something out heading into the major, because S&D is what wins championships, word to Faze at the last event. Faze's Hardpoint was a 50-50 coin toss, but their S&D was flawless at the last event. Obviously, the win streak supports that, and their control was very solid, similar to Ultra. So if Ultra can clean up S&D, they have a very good chance to win this event, because I feel like their Hardpoint has gotten to a very solid place where, it's hard to rock with them. So Ultra has a very good chance to win this event. They just need to make sure that their play calling and mid-round adjustments are there. But I think they can hang with anybody finally with this roster if they make sure that that is all ironed out. Now, Here is the number 2 ranked team, the Boston Breach. I will give you guys the caveat that this is my dark horse to win it all. If there is going to be anybody, and I repeat, anybody, who upsets the cart and wins Major 3 in a shocking twist of events, it's going to be none other than the Boston Breach. Their teamwork and composure, I gave an A+. Their Stage 3 performance, I gave an A+. I thought they were phenomenal. Obviously, they got the 2nd seed, so they were the 2nd best team. Now, their hardpoint was a B-. It was 5 and 4. I thought their hardpoint definitely could have been a lot better. But they showed a lot of improvements, and they had a very difficult schedule. So that's very encouraging for them. They beat Toronto, they beat Thieves, and they beat Subliners? Was it Subliners? I don't know. It was a good team. Anyways, they beat Guerillas in London, and then they lost to Florida. That's right. Anyways, though, S&D was solid. They were 4 and 3. Their control was 4 and 1. I mean, across the board, Boston's looking really solid. They cleaned up their S&D, which was the big issue. They won some Game 5s. They hadn't won any this season going into it. And, you know, they're looking really good. They look like they've cleaned up a lot of the mistakes that prevented them from making deep runs at tournaments. I think they're poised for one. Beans is really good. He looks like a great natural fit for this team slang-wise, and I think they're poised for a run. So be on the lookout for the Boston Breach. They're my dark horse to win it all. Yeah, I have a very good feeling about them making a deep run. The Breach is much improved since the retirement of Methods during the Stage 2 Major. They look a lot better across the board, and this is the result of the slang and pressure that Beans adds to this team. They're my dark horse to win it all if they catch fire in their matchup against Optic. I think their winners round matchup will make or break the tournament for them. If they do win their winners round 1 matchup, I think they likely chain that momentum and do something crazy. I'm going to book it right now. Boston's looking like they're right there, and I feel like that team with some momentum would definitely just go crazy. So, our number 1 seed for the stage is the Seattle Surge. They did it. They finally cleaned up their S&D. They stopped the win streak. The loss streak. They stopped the bleeding. And they corrected their mistakes in S&D. Now they look to be the clear-cut favorites to win the whole event. A 4-1 record with their schedule is definitely confirmation that they made the changes needed to potentially win an event this season. They had a very difficult schedule, and they came out on top. So I'll put their hit list here on screen. But yeah, I mean, they went through the gauntlet. So I gave their teamwork and composure an A+. I gave their hardpoint an A+. 6 and 2 is a really great record. They are tied with Toronto for the best record. S&D, A+. They're 4 and 1, much improved. That was their big issue, S&D, of course. And their control was 3 and 2, so B+ control. I mean, across the board, they were definitely our clear-cut best team. S&D record was strong, hardpoint record was strong, control record was strong. They look poised to really make the run and get to the finals. I have them definitely making the finals in my mind. I feel like with the changes that they made and just the way that all the guys have been frying, Mac, Accuracy, Sib, and Pred, and they figured out how to fry consistently, so that tells me that they're playing the game the right way, and they're just very comfortable. So that's why I think they make a deep run. And I think that their number 1 seed is well-deserved. I think they were the best team in this split, and I think they'll definitely make the run to the finals. So that gives me to a segue. I have the schedule for day 1 right here. So what you guys will be watching later this afternoon will be Toronto versus New York to kick things off, followed by Seattle versus LAG. And then after that, we'll see Boston taking on Optic Texas, the host of the Major. And we will close things out with a rematch from the Major 2 Grand Finals where Atlanta Faze will be taking on the LA Thieves. So I hope you guys enjoy all the matches today. I will not be bringing you guys coverage tomorrow just because it's my dad's birthday. I want to celebrate with him, so I'll check back in with you guys on Saturday. Maybe I'll record something like early Saturday morning, but I definitely won't record anything on Friday. I just want to spend the day with my dad. And yeah, so catch you guys on the next video. Hope you enjoy all the COD today, and hope you guys have a great morning, noon, or night wherever you may be on this beautiful planet. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Once again, this is Chris from Fake Sports News, and I'm signing off. Peace.